So, who will John Cena's last opponent be? Do you think this episode will provide some sort of secret insight, or is there another explanation? Stick with this episode until the end and find out. Also, it's audience participation time. If you became a wrestler, what would your gimmick name be? Or would you just use your real name like Harley Race eventually did? Either way, give your answers in the comments section below. Now, it's time for another episode of You See Kayfabe, the new look If You See Kayfabe. G'day wrestling mates and welcome to episode 47 of If You See Kayfabe. I'm your wrestling mate from down under, Southern Joe. Now, my gimmick name, Southern Joe, came from the year 2000 when I first got on the internet. It was dial-up back then. I'm from Sydney originally, and my favourite sports team is the Sydney Kings, who play in our National Basketball League. I've followed them since 1989, but I moved to Melbourne in 1990 and have lived here ever since. Now, Melbourne is south of Sydney. My name is Joe, so Southern Joe was coined. So when you let me know what your gimmick name would be, it'd be interesting to find out how that decision came about. Leave your comments in the section below. As promised, after the break, all will be revealed about this story of John Cena's last match. If you follow pwdownunder.com or paid attention to my previous episode, or were a fan of the Apter mags in the 80s, you may already have an inkling of what's going to happen. Now, before we get to the main event, I had two replies to my previous episode. Now, the first one said the following: I have some experience with Vince Russo. Mixed opinions from me. The fact that Rock never hired him to write any of his TV shows or movies speaks volume. The second one was weird. They simply said, stop using AI. I replied and said that I don't use AI, but asked them to show me what part of If You See Kayfabe was using AI. They then deleted the comment, and thus my reply went as well. So I need help from you guys. In the comments section, please show me what part of my show may have someone believe that I was using AI. So now, John Cena's last match. First, I better run this disclaimer. The following is fiction. It is not meant to be any insider news, prediction, or story pitch. It is a fictitious dream match in the style of the dream matches that PWI used to publish periodically. It is fiction that is highly entertaining, so enjoy. So it's the second last Raw episode before the 2025 version of the WWE Survivor Series was to take place. The episode opened to the familiar strains of John Cena's entrance music. A massive pop reverberated around the arena. Cena grabbed the microphone and waited for the crowd to die down. He had not been in the WWE ring since his match at SummerSlam a couple of months ago. The WWE Universe knew that Cena's farewell tour was about to take its final curtain call. The tease amongst the pundits was, who will be John Cena's last ever opponent? Cena started to address this question by rattling off a list of the top names in the WWE. He spoke of both heels and baby faces. Some of the audience noticed a man wearing a black hooded sweater jumping the guardrail and attacking Cena. Thinking this was part of the show, no one really batted an eyelid. Instead, they expected a WWE wrestler to stake their claim. The revelation that the hooded man turned out to be AEW wrestler MJF shocked the crowd and left the commentators trying to fathom what wasn't on their run sheet. MJF blindsided Cena with stiff working punches, backed away, and then pointed to the big screen. As everyone's attention turned to the big screen, MJF somehow evaded security and ran through the crowd, and the crowd was still shell-shocked but turned to the screen as motioned by MJF. It was later revealed that MJF had paid a team of computer geeks a large sum of money to hack the WWE production truck. MJF appeared on the screen with a message for Cena. His promo went like this: John Cena, You have been a champion and a top star for the WWE for a very long time. Congratulations. WWE tech wizards, don't bother trying to stop this going to air. I have hired a crack team of computer geeks to make sure this message goes to air. I won't take much of your time. Cena, I want to be your last opponent. A one-off match on your terms. Triple H, Nick Khan, Tony Khan, make this happen. Now this message is over. Go back to your little show. No one knows how to react. The commentators throw to an ad break. When they come back from the break, nothing is said about what went on. Meanwhile, in the gorilla position backstage, Triple H is on the phone to a confused Tony Khan. Levesque was wanting to know what game Tony was playing, sending his top star to Gatecrash Raw. Tony had no idea what Trips was talking about. Mind you, as Trips angrily hung up on Tony, Tony's phone was starting to go ballistic as people were tweeting him clips of what MJF had just done. Tony's next call was to MJF, who asked what kind of stupid stunt he just pulled and that Triple H thought AEW was behind it. MJF said, "No, Tony, I wanted to create history. Everyone knows I'm a generational talent. I am serious about this. I want that last match. I still want to be an AEW wrestler, but for one match, I want to be Cena's last opponent, rather than some WWE schlub that he has already wrestled a million times. Get with WWE people and make this happen. It is both me and Cena." After a fortnight of back and forth negotiations, Cena and MJF worked out a deal where they could have their match with no undercard, but a mega pre-show with special guests performing music and a dual roast. Money was raised for a variety of charities. This event would take place in late December and was endorsed by both WWE and AEW, but neither company would host the show. The match took place at the Pontiac Silverdome, the site of the famous WrestleMania 3, and was packed with a capacity crowd. After the pre-show festivities, the USA national anthem was performed by a collaboration featuring Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, Jelly Roll, Teddy Swims, Sabrina Carpenter, Dua Lipa, with a band that featured Bruce Springsteen, Zach Starkey, Billy Joel, and many others. Finally, the lights went dim and MJF's music played first. He came out handing a bunch of his signature scarves to various celebrities in the front row. He played up to the crowd and motioned for Cena to come get some. Cena's music then hit to a deafening pop. This was a spectacle no one could ever have imagined. Cena rushed the ring and the match started. The two traded blows immediately. The match was physical and made sense. Everything was called in the ring. Both Cena and MJF were to later feature in shoot interviews where they corroborated each other's story that they did not have any walkthroughs or rehearsed spots. MJF looked like ruining Cena's farewell by connecting perfectly with a GTS finisher. Cena somehow kicked out. Cena got in two attitude adjustments, an FU, and cross-faced with an STFU and got MJF to tap out. The stadium went in a meltdown with a pop that genuinely lasted for 20 minutes. MJF played his heel part by flipping the bird and leaving the ring, leaving Cena to drinking in the final adulation. MJF later revealed that the heel move was his way of deferring to Cena's final curtain call in a way that was more kayfabe than shoot. In Cena's memoir that he wrote in 2027, MJF penned the foreword, and Cena dedicated the last chapter of his book to this match and was forever in MJF's debt for creating a lasting image that not even WWE creative could top for an epilogue to his career. Wow, hope you all enjoyed this dream match. Let me know what you think of this concept in the comments below. I do have a couple more. So like, subscribe, and all the usual bits that every YouTube video tells you to do. But do mine first. All right. So till next time, this has been your wrestling mate from down under, Southern Joe. This is Hooroo, and I've got to wrangle Clyde.